Well, g'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's video on YouTube. I know it's very sunny, but it's also freezing cold outside. I don't know why I feel like I've got my summer outfit today, so I might as well get myself changed from like the next 2 hours or so, or 99 minutes or so. And I have to do the most painful job, which is of course building a website. But anyways, before I should straightforward build a website, I want to talk about what's going to be straightforward happening in this video. So what you're just seeing on screen here, if I just straightforward show you of all the things that I'm about to straightforward show you in this video, I've actually got a collection of Thomas and Friends toy trains. And actually, if I just turn the camera around, there you can see it's quite an amazing collection. I've got, of course, a wide variety of Tomy and Trackmaster Thomas and Friends trains. This one there is a Golden Bear Henry that I've got from a charity shop for £1.50. And I've also got a Take Along Donald, not Douglas. Obviously, if it's Donald, I'm pretty sure he would have been carrying like a number 9 tender he would have dragged around with. But yes, I've actually got a few Thomas and Friends toy trains, and the reason why I'm collecting quite a few Thomas and Friends toy trains is, well, it's because not only I'm just reconciliating with my childhood, but I'm also, I'm actually straightforward a full-time charity shop visitor, and basically I can buy Thomas, James and Percy, and obviously I've bought James, and let me talk about this James first, because I actually haven't been playing around with this James for a long period of time. One thing I've done to get this James look all brand spanking new, I know his wires are still playing up and stuff, he still has his, well, basically, I've just taken out his traction tyres. And the reason why I took out his old traction tyres is because they were getting old, crumbly, and also very, very, well, let's just say, not that good. Because obviously, when you have traction tyres, which in a sense, traction tyres are meant to look like this. Okay, so this is what a regular traction tyre would look like. There's a Trackmaster Classic version, which basically is by Mattel. And I'm pretty sure it's a Tomy one, going by the colours of it. Mind you, if it was a Hit Toy Company Percy, it would have actually had a totally different traction tyre colour. But this one is in fairly excellent condition. I'm actually hoping to get Toby yet, as I'm making this video. So it seems like, hey, I've actually gone in through a lot of Thomas and Friends related toys. And yes, I'm still straightforward pondering around eBay, looking forward to purchase some good Thomas and Friends toys. I've actually painted James's eyebrow, although I do think that the paint is starting to wear off a bit. But nevertheless, hey, this is actually quite a very nice rendition of James. I did make his eyebrows a little bit too thick, but that's okay. You know what, I can just straightforward say, hey, that's fine. I can just wipe off the eyebrows and just replace them with, like, tediously tiny stickers of eyebrows. But that doesn't matter somehow because, not all Thomas and Friends toys are going to have, their eyebrows being kept as always, as per usual. Like this Trackmaster Thomas, it has actually basically left off a bit of detailing on its eyebrows. As you can see, it's been completely worn out. But I actually had him for a good decent, like, 10 years or 11 years or so. This James has been also running for an excellent, stunning 15 years. So I could tell you what, guys, say, man, getting Tomy James was just beyond awesome. But let me go into eBay for a while here because I can show you some really dangerous pricings of what's going up here. I can see quite a lot of people chasing after this stuff. I can just straightforward chase after Tomy Henry. Well, actually, this is a Trackmaster Classic Henry because it's got a detachable tender and not a permanent one, which took a C-cell. This one takes a AA battery. And I've actually been having trouble to collect Toby because obviously Toby is... oh, not only he's square, but obviously I'm trying to find different variations of Toby because obviously, well, the most common feature I want to get with Toby is a Toby with a Henrietta, an actual Henrietta. This one here, obviously, £16.10. This one looks good. It's actually got Clarabelle, which is quite unusual. I don't know why it's got Clarabelle on it. How so often does it really need Clarabelle on the works? I can go and get any, but boy, do I really needed a Clarabelle. I don't know what's going on here with Toby. There's actually quite a lot of other Thomas and Friends related stuff here. So basically there's a lot of Playrail and Tomy Thompson Friends related stuff, and basically I'm still wasting my time analysing which toys shall I actually get. And I tell you what, guys, I feel like I've been wasting my time just scrolling around and finding which Thomas and Friends toy train is the best. Obviously, I pick Henry because Henry is quite rare, and also he's a Tenor engine. Like so, I could also buy Hero, which is that Japanese D51 type locomotive. Obviously, let me just go ahead and type on Toby, because Toby is such an unusual looking locomotive, not only because he's square, but also because he's brown, and basically his design is so unique. There's even more expensive packs like this one here for £26.70. I don't know why this really exists. There's about 8 people viewing it like so. I can just straightforward copy that and send it over to someone else. It's a nice collection of cargo wagons and that sort of stuff. £26.60 is somewhat very outrageous, but to be honest, somehow, oh wait, is that a Mattel version? Oh no, that's actually, I'm actually more into the Tomy version of Toby. Now, if you look closely, the facing might actually be a much more different type of design. I think it's a 1996 Toby that I'm actually looking at. Tomy ones are right. Obviously, I'm actually still more into the Tomy version of the train itself. The one I might go for is probably this one here. That one there looks stunning. I think that's what says to me about Toby. I think I might as well go. It's most likely going to be this one here, without the carriage. Oops, sorry, I shouldn't. Let me just straightforward jump cut for a while here. That was WhatsApp. Okay, I'm actually choosing this Toby here because he doesn't actually come with the coach that comes with it. And the reason why is probably because I don't want to get a troublesome truck. Now, I'm just sort of thinking, Ivan, why the hell don't you want a troublesome truck? Well, it's probably because of the faces. Just look how very sad the troublesome truck actually looks. It looks pretty much a bit lonely, to be honest, though. It's a bit too dull looking, I guess, having the troublesome truck in it, I think. But I'm actually going to have just Toby itself and the tanker wagons, but I also want to go and get the carriages and that sort of stuff like that. And there's also this pack which contains Toby, but also a variety of troublesome trucks. Do you want me to get this, or do you want me to get, let's just say, a much fairer pack? Let's just say a £12 sort of set without Henrietta, which is the carriage Toby actually pulls. And actually, I might show you what Henrietta looks like. Obviously, that's what it looks like. Henrietta, obviously, you can definitely tell what it looks like. It's £7. I can go and get this Henrietta, or maybe I can go and get the Mattel version of Toby, which doesn't actually sound nice. But I can get, basically this. Oh, is that Henry? Is that a, what is that Henry? That looks very similar to the one I'm viewing. Okay, so basically there's about 5, adding it to the watch list. The one I'm going to get is this version of Henry. This version of Henry actually looks much nicer because obviously it's got all of the looks, although I do think that the firebox is way too large. That's what I'm looking at. And the reason why I picked Tomy and Trackmaster is because they're the cheapest battery operated train sets or motorized train sets, because if I was going to be purchasing Hornby, I'd probably say, bro, this stuff is expensive, man. That would be very tedious to fix. Tomy and Trackmaster should be a lot more easier to fix. Stunning. I highly suggest, hey, buy this Henry. Like so, it says sent with Royal Mail Tract 48. If I can't get this Henry, maybe I might as well just focus and stick on to buying Toby for at the moment. Or maybe if there's another option, I can also try and get, another train, someone out of the Railway series. I think my rule number 1 factor is actually buy someone from the Railway series and not from the TV show. That's my only trick of getting it. Although I'd probably guess characters like Salty should be a much better option because he's actually quite goofy and that sort of stuff. Salty, the dockside diesel. I actually got a green one, but his battery but his battery terminal got corroded, so unfortunately I can't get another salty. Obviously, let me just see which one's the best. I can see there's a carriage bundle right here, which looks like this, and Emily's Tender. Why Emily's Tender? That's a bit strange. Actually, the one I might look forward to is probably, let's just say, why this packet? It looks really expensive. Yes, going by the looks of it, it does look quite expensive. There are some options. Let me just go ahead and type in Tomy Duck, which is of course my next option here. I don't want to go ahead and buy the, let's just say the cheaper and very stupider type Thomas and Friends trains. Obviously, I think I wanted to get this, but unfortunately, what I realized with this Tomy or Trackmaster Duck is I have to submit the bid. So, what is going on to submit the bid? What is going on here? Which ends in 5 hours and 37 minutes. I can't get this Tomy Duck now because it's going to be ending in 5 hours and 37 minutes. So it's going to belong to a different owner. And to submit a bid, man, that's not going to be great. And I'm just sort of thinking, wow, if I get Tomy or Trackmaster Duck, I know, oh no, his funnel has actually been destroyed. So I can't get this because his funnel looks broken. But let me play the video here. His funnel looks... Yeah, I've actually realised his funnel has been cracked and it's actually been broken off. Might have been chewed off by a young child. It's pretty ugly. You know, the problem about eBay is there's just so many great trains, but then the place itself is very, very dangerous. And that's because there's just a lot of radioactivity on eBay that you just never ever know. And the reason why you never ever know is that, in a sense, when you try and buy stuff from eBay, you got to be landing in hot water. So it's just, I'm starting to smell a lot of fish in this site here. Sorry for this rant here, but it's just that I'm being very aware that eBay can be extremely dangerous when it comes into sellers, but also people who come along and bid for whatever product they want a straightforward purchase. I don't think I'll be getting this duck because it's got a bit of a broken funnel. Neither, let's just say this one here, because I think this one's a bit of a cheapie. Too cheap, to be honest, in quality. So most likely I could go and get a Tomy Duck, which obviously looks... Oh, that's weird. It's a faceless Toad. Why the hell Toad looks faceless? That's a bit strange for a Scruffy and Toad. And it's also got like a tanker wagon. That's actually quite nice to know. That's a bit of a bonus. This one here looks very nice. But that one's very expensive. So, and I'm sort of thinking the reason why it's so expensive is probably because it's extremely rare. Sorry about that. I mean, it looks very rare going by the designs of it. I might have to probably chat with my father and see which trains are the best looking to deliver by Christmas, because obviously that's what I'm going to be purchasing. I'm buying Tomy trains for Christmas, going by the looks of how they look. You know what I mean? I'm just straightforward a guy who just goes around, looks for trains, and finds one which is the best. And honestly, I'm focusing more on Tomy stuff because obviously I can't get my head around on... Let me just jump up for a round here. And for a while here, sorry, I think I can't get my head around on Golden Bear or let's just say Take-alongs or Take-and Plays. It's just that they're not powered. And I only want to focus on collecting Tomy and Trackmaster, specifically Trackmaster Classic and Tomy, is because, well, as you can see, they're all fairly nice. Not only just the fact they're nice, but they all run on the same track, but they're also the most versatile motorized systems. And if I take out these two here, I'll talk about Henry later on here. So these three here, they are the much more versatile train systems that I can collect. Cheaper than Hornby or Backbone, but can be extremely, well, let's just say, different. I think they can be a bit naive at times. I think in terms of, I think Tomy James, I think there are a bit of faults in this one here. Tomy or Trackmaster James, specifically the tender-driven units, they can have their wires broken off and that sort of thing. Obviously, the Thomas type drive unit, I think this one here on Percy can have a bit of a clutch problem, I guess. And the rest of them all, they might also suffer some battery leakages, which can be an actual absolute nightmare, obviously, if you don't look after your trains. And that's final. But, hey, that's just what I'm saying here. It's pretty much explaining to me, I'm just explaining to you why these are much more better than those ones there. In fact, let me grab Henry here. This is a Golden Bear Henry. I can actually take out the tag, since I can make this one very, very fresh. Hello, I'm Henry, and I've finally got my tag on this. Oh! And I've just fallen down to the floor. Now, obviously, sorry about that. But yes, this is a Golden Bear Henry. And I actually knew I found it in the charity shop because it was just straightforward sitting around out of nowhere. And I actually found this on the charity shop around Sunday. And it's dropped into the floor there. Sorry. Why does Henry keep on falling off? So, I got this Henry here. It's a Golden Bear unit. All the drive units, they're fairly nice. Although I do think, yes, you got to be very warned that the, well, let's just say the rubber wheel tyre thingies, they do get straightforward be chewed out and that sort of stuff. Coupling system's great. Face looks excellent. That's the most important feature about these. And I'll tell you what, this Henry here looks like in very pretty good in condition. Oh yes, good face in this one, good detailing. Well, I think let's just say the lack of running plate. Let's just say there. I think yeah, I think anything too simplistic about Henry kind of reminds me of Percy, because obviously the little bars and that sort of thing, little handrails and whatnot, they've never been applied into this train. But yet again, it's cheap and cheerful. It's quite a nice toy. Yes, it's a Golden Bear Toys train, as you can see. It's actually quite fairly nice. Copyright date is 2006. Not sure if you can see it properly, but there it is. Quite a very nice train. Pretty awesome. Oh, sorry, my finger just attacked my camera, eh? Sorry about that. But then, you know, it's a very nice bit of Thomas & Friends merchandise that I actually haven't got for quite some time now. And again, it's fairly awesome somehow. Very awesome indeed. Anyways, I'm going to straight for this video here because I don't want to get too carried away with eBay at the moment, hey? Because I need to do some more serious stuff. Because I tell you what, flying around eBay isn't always the greatest. If you want to come along and buy some trains, or I could try and think about detailing the coupling systems for both Percy and Trackmaster Thomas. But anyways, I'm going to leave this video here because, hey, I actually still feel proud about collecting this Percy, and mind you, he still works. He's actually still a goer. Mind you, if I put him like so, he's still a pretty good goer. And that's the most important part about Tomy Toys, is I always take these trains with diligence and care. I think with traction tyres, they can be extremely vulnerable and can be prone to drying in extremely hot weather. But nevertheless, hey, I do take the trains very, so seriously. Luke as well. Luke is also quite a very fantastic runner. And that's what I really like about collecting various Tomy and Trackmaster trains. There's a huge variety of them. Let me just put back quite a few of the trains that I've actually collected. I can put back James and Thomas. I still need the straightforward get James his new traction tyres implemented, I think, because he needs the traction tyres to bite down to the Tomy and Trackmaster track. Of course, we've got Henry and also Donald. Obviously, I think collecting Tomy and Trackmaster alongside Take Along and Golden Bear just wonderful to collect. I think the cheapest that you can get is Take Along or Take and Play, but I think Erdal might be expensive. Oh man, I'm more into the Tomy and Trackmaster stuff because obviously I've got a whole bunch of tracks like that, you know. I might as well go and get another Tomy and Trackmaster adapter / joiner piece because I need that for more, you know, Tomy and Trackmaster pieces. I still need to go and get some more Trackmaster track because I haven't been playing it for such a while, you know, man, eh? But anyways, I'm going to leave this video here. If you really enjoyed this video about the Tomy and Trackmaster stuff that I might straightforward think about in the near future, in particular Christmas, please give this video a good like, subscribe for more for that videos in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.